Medical school is definitely very expensive. From the amount of money it takes to prepare and take your MCAT, apply to medical school, go on interviews at different schools, and not to mention attend medical school, the average medical student can expect to finish school with nearly $200,000 in debt. Now in this video, I'll be discussing why as a minority student, first generation student, or low socioeconomic student, you should not let this deter you from chasing your dreams of becoming a physician. Let's get started. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on this video. For those of you who may be new to my channel, my name is Terence. I'm an incoming first year medical student. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you enjoy these videos. I'll be putting out weekly videos just like this one every single week, so make sure you come along for the journey. I recently got a question from one of you guys, one of my subscribers, asking me if I can make a video on this topic. And this is something that I feel connected to personally because as a minority student, not having that representation in medicine all the time, not always having the people in your family that know what's going on and understanding the path it takes to become a doctor, it could definitely be deterring, and it can definitely lead you to go down a different route that's not your passion, which may be medicine and maybe becoming a doctor. So I wanted to talk on this topic and kind of give you guys some hope and give you guys some inspiration as to why you should still go down the path of medicine if that's your true passion, regardless of how much money it costs to go through the medical school process. So I first want to preface my advice by saying, although I am a minority applicant and a minority medical student, I didn't necessarily have to face a lot of the socioeconomic struggles that some of you guys out there might be facing. I didn't necessarily have to pay my way through college. I didn't necessarily have to, find 3 to 4 jobs to make sure I'm supported and take care of my family at the same time. I had a lot of privileges in that way where I didn't have to really struggle for money, and I had parents that really supported me throughout the journey and allowed me to really do anything I needed to do without having to worry about, having to pay for different things or paying for my tuition. So I was very fortunate in that way, which allowed me to kind of do all the things I wanted to do to get into medical school. But I understand that that's not a privilege that many of you guys have out there. A lot of you guys that I've talked to over email or I've read your applications, had to pay through your way through college, had to take care of your family at the same time, younger siblings and different things like that. And understanding that those are the stories out there, I want you to know that, in the case where either you're a minority student, a first generation student, somebody from a low socioeconomic background, in those cases, and I use this as motivation for me as a minority applicant as well, if there is one person out there that did it, that was from your town, or somebody that came up in certain circumstances similar to yours, then it's possible for you to do it too. And that's something that I use as my motivation, not necessarily seeing minority physicians all the time out there, black male physicians all the time out there. If I did see one and I saw their struggle and I saw what they came from, I knew that I could do it too, especially coming from a somewhat privileged financially situation. But I want to definitely give you that inspiration. If somebody out there, if you could find one person that came from an immigrant family, came from a different country, came to this country of America and worked their way through college and eventually went to medical school, that means you could do it too. The biggest thing for me I found was educating myself to get your family members on board. I know that there's a lot of you guys out there, I've spoken to a few of you where it's kind of like, your family wants you to become a physician, or your family wants you to not become a physician because of the different deterrents of the finances. It's tough to say, hey mom, hey dad, I know that we already struggle with money, but I'm going to be putting myself in debt. A lot of people that come up and not necessarily are financially literate all the time see debt and see loans as something that's going to set you back, and it does. And having loans does not help you progress forward in your financial career, and it doesn't help you progress forward. It does set you back. But the biggest thing is understanding how you can utilize those loans and see medical school as an investment. That's how I kind of look at it. I look at it as an investment into my future, and understand first, how can I educate myself so that I can educate others around me to help them support me. So taking the time to, get better with understanding money, understanding my finances, understanding how I'm going to pay for different things, using loans, understanding the loans in themselves. What's the best loan that I can go after? Are there any scholarships? Are there any financial aids that I can be eligible for as a minority student, as a low socioeconomic student, as a first generation student? Are there resources out there for me to get an advantage or assist me along my way? And the answer is always yes. It's just finding what works best for you and doing your homework. I think the biggest thing is I felt more comfortable taking on the amount of loans that I'm going to take on because I felt more educated about how I could pay them off. I looked into guys like Dave Ramsey, and although he's very, very polarizing and very, very, someone would say he's limited in his point of views, just looking into different things like that and looking into different financial advisors in that way on YouTube or just reading articles and different things like that helped me to portray to other people that kind of doubted my path and say, hey, I know that this is expensive, you know, it's 4 years, it's a lot of training, blah, 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 blah. Like, are you sure you want to go through this path? And I would always give them the facts to support my argument, saying, you know, if I go this route, I'm going to have this amount of debt. I'm going to be able to pay it off in this many years because I know as a physician, this is the pay range that I could potentially make. If I make more, then I could pay it off faster. If I make less, then I have to adjust my plans and live a certain lifestyle that matches my, you know, my means. And the fact that I have $200,000 in debt, I'm going to have to live a different lifestyle than somebody that has zero debt. So understanding not only everything that goes along with you know, keeping yourself alive during medical school as far as budgeting and how to handle your money and how to limit your expenses, but also, you know, have a decent lifestyle. That's the biggest thing, is just educating yourself first, and then portraying that education and portraying that knowledge to your family members so that they understand to the best of their ability what you're about to go through and they feel comfortable. A lot of people that doubt you, a lot of people that feel that they have to deter you to doing something more practical or something, you know, that'll get you faster money, are just really uncertain, and they're usually coming from a place of comfort, usually coming from a place that they care about you, and they're trying to, you know, nurture you into the right decision. But if you could show them that you are educated in this field, you're passionate about the field of medicine, you know, that should help them understand the path that you're going down, and hopefully open their eyes to know that you are in good hands when it comes to going to medical school. So I hope I wasn't rambling too much in this, but I wanted to really give you guys that motivation to say, if you want to go down this path, educate yourself first. Take the resources that are available out there. There are hundreds of YouTube videos on probably similar situations: going to medical school, paying off debt; going to law school, paying off debt; going to these expensive schools and paying off debt. And it's definitely possible. And people that do it, and people come out of, you know, undergrad with $200,000 of debt because they went to a private school, and they don't make anywhere near as much as physicians, and they have to figure out a way to pay off this money. So as a physician, somebody that's going to be making, you know, a 6-figure salary on the minimum, it's important to understand, all right, this is my outcome, and how can I take, you know, the debt that I have and pay it off in the best way possible so that I can have a decent lifestyle. It's important to educate yourself first, and that is the key to this video. I hope that you guys kind of understood where I was coming from in this advice, and don't let anything deter you. If, like I said, if you've seen somebody that's done it before you in worse conditions, better conditions, or the same conditions as you, that looks like you, use that as motivation. Use that as the push that you need to go through it, because it's definitely possible. And there's a lot of people that have pushed through in much worse circumstances and in the past, and going to be in the future too, and in the present. So keep that in mind and keep pushing forward towards your goal of becoming a doctor. Don't let this deter you. Don't let it step you back. Educate yourself and be confident in your decision making. So thank you for everybody who's watched this video to the end. I want to say subscribe if you're new. If you like these videos, make sure you give this video a like and come along for the journey. I'll be putting out weekly videos just like this one. Good luck. Keep pushing. You got this, and let's get it.